Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's gonna happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you're about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, come around and find out. The Black Panther Party from self-defense, we're the same Panther Party from back in the day, but we're a little more aggressive now, you dig? Carry bigger guns and we don't take no shit.
General Mike Payne, national leader of the original Black Panther Party here. We have received many emails from people asking what is our official stance on the ICE situation. I need you all to listen and understand what I'm telling you. We, the original Black Panther Party, in good conscience cannot risk life and limb of our people for groups of people who have not risked life and limb for us. Just because we have a common enemy, that does not equate to us having a common problem. If this was so, now listen to me. If we had a common problem and enemy, where were the immigrants or even the black immigrants as a whole when Breonna Taylor, Tyree Nichols, Trayvon Martin, Rollin Hill, Ahmaud Arbery, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, where were you at when our people are murdered in the streets, slaughtered in cold blood by an agency that now hunts you? But now that injustice has touched your door, we have something in common. The black agenda must come first. We are still working on in-house unification. We cannot afford to divide our ranks to help individuals who have not been reciprocatory. Black citizens, we are not the target. Sure, like anything else, a few black citizens get stopped, hassled, and ID'd. That's been happening to us for 400 plus years. The difference now is we aren't who they're looking for. We don't mean this in a harsh way to any community that migrated here and are targets of ICE. But legal or illegally, this has been our experience since our shackled feet touched the Virginia soil. Welcome to America.
All power to the people. No power to the pig.
So he actually sends out a letter stating that, hey, the guy that's posing as a member of the new Black Panther is a fraud. He's basically cosplaying. And I do believe this is one of the things he says. He says, this statements will get people killed and play into the hands of oppressive forces, granting them the ammunition needed to attack actual Black Panthers that are committed to the serious and just actions of raising the consciousness and empowering to make progressive change. So as you can see, he's like, hey, this is the people who are speaking now are real members of the Black Panthers. This guy is a fake. He's a poser. Goddamn Mexicans. Oh my God, dude, this is so funny.
So stop following us. If you continue to follow us, I'll bring the whole city to the police station. And if you watch the news or listen to the people who were here the other days you weren't, you know I can. We want to be left the fuck alone.
Okay, we're just concerned about public safety.
Hey, you ain't got to be concerned public. We've been marching for a month. Leave us the fuck alone. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you.
We're going on the roadway, that's all, okay?
I don't give a fuck. We're allowed to walk on the roadway. We can protest wherever we want. Stop following us around. When we weren't on the roadway, when we were on the Riverwalk.
No, you weren't.
All right, so stop following us around. Somebody followed us all the way up there. We walk and we catch you following us again, we're bringing the whole city to the police station. I'm saying it one time. Let's go.
My name is Myeshia Newton. My father's name was Walter Newton. He was the brother of Huey Percy Newton, who started the Black Panther Party in Oakland, California. Okay? My handle name is Myeshia 415 Newton. I got birth certificate, paperwork, and a whole bunch of Newtons who are ready to listen. This goes out to the Black Panther Party, the new United Black Panther Party, whoever's out there protesting with these Somalians. I'm about to get a cease and desist order against you, and I'm about to sue you because you guys are... You are not going to defame my uncle's name like that. We're not doing that. See you in court.
I said call him. I don't answer questions. Call him. And I got my gun license and my driver's license in my hand. So stay 8 feet from me and don't talk to me no more.
That's Paul Birdsong. He identifies as Paul Birdsong. Yeah. I mean, I think that's very cornball. Just to cut to the chase. I mean, there's no context of to why he is telling the police to stay across the street when they're already across the street. He's standing there by himself as an individual in a civilian capacity, which he has the right to do, you know. And anybody, you know, this is America. We have free speech. You can say what you want to say as long as you lawful. He is posturing as if he represents the Black Panther Party with the gun, talking about safe light repair, safe light replace. I mean, that what the hell is that? I mean, that's really goofy. The man is representing himself as if he is a Black Panther and that his organization came about because of the fact that there was no Black Panthers active and that he got the okay from a Black Panther, a former Black Panther from the 1960s. The Black Panther Party, contrary to popular belief, did not start in Oakland, California, with Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seals. The Black Panther Party started in Lyons County, Alabama. In Alabama, and it was started by Kwame Ture. At the time, he was known as Stokely Carmichael, and Mikasa Ricks. And they were organizing for as student nonviolent SNCC, student nonviolent organizers, to help do voting rights, you know. And so they were down there in Alabama. And of course, we know, unfortunately, our people were under attack by vigilantes and government officials to stop us from voting in this time period. And so the little girls' church, the church had been bombed, which the little girls had been unfortunately murdered in Alabama. You know, it was a hotbed that Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, the southern districts, just like it is today, Georgia, all of that area. So SNCC, the brothers and sisters of SNCC were down there organizing for voters' rights. And y'all know this is the time period when Dr. King and all them were doing their rights in the South. Well, the Klan was attacking the people who were organizing. And so what happened was there were some brothers out of Bogalusa, Louisiana, who called themselves the Deacons of Defense. These brothers had just come back from, these were World War veterans who were under a black brigade that was called the Black Panther. They were the most, y'all heard about the Tuskegee Airmen. But anyway, they had the symbol, this particular symbol of the Black Panther. So these brothers coming back from after going to war and fighting for a country for rights that they didn't have, they decided to go and take their shotguns and defend the people who wanted to go and vote in Lyons County, Alabama. And Kwame Ture, at the time, his name was Stokely Carmichael, he was politicizing the people. And he said what the people need is Black power. So this is how we wound up coming to the symbol of the Black Panther being a symbol, because the Democrats, who were the donkeys, and the Republicans, who were the elephants, were the ones who were discriminating and stopping Black people from voting. So Black Panther originally came about in this context as a political party. And the brothers with the guns, with the Deacons of Defense, were the people who were defending Black rights, Black voting rights, to stop the tyranny of the Klan that was going on in the South. They stood up against the burnings and the lynchings with armed resistance. Okay? So, Huey P. Newton, being from Louisiana, from Monroe, Louisiana, he would be aware of what was going on. He was in school in California. And so at this time, just like, it is going on in California today, there's a lot of racial tension going on. You know what I'm saying? And this time racism was going on, and it still goes on. But the Black Panther Party, Huey P. Newton formed the Black Panther Party for self-defense to deal with not only the police attacks that were going on in California, but also the white groups that were attacking the Black communities. It was a lot of racial tension going on. So they formed the Black Panther Party for self-defense and had the armed, had the weapons to defend their to defend the communities and to exercise Second Amendment rights. The Second Amendment not only says you have the right to bear arms, but it also says you have the right to organize a well-armed militia. Okay? So here comes the Black Panthers. You know, Huey P. Newton and what they were doing is spread out around the nation. And so, you know, a lot is taking place. So it'll take a whole series upon series to really get into how much has went on with the Black Panther Party. But what wound up happening is works that the Black Panther Party were doing was so important in the community, and they were spreading like wildfire, not just with protecting the people, but with feeding the people. We're coming up with programs dealing with health, with the sickle cell issues that were going on, with addressing the government and institutions about the injustice. So Black people were glad, were proud to have this organization to step up with Black people standing up for Black people. And this became a symbol of liberation across the world, even to today. So, you know, the government, United States government, you know, they saw this as a threat. And how we know they saw this as a threat is because I'm having to fast forward, but most of the Panthers during this time period of the 1960s, they came under attack. They came by attack. They were shot at. Some were murdered. Carl Hampton here in Houston, Fred Hampton in Chicago, the brothers in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, the brothers and sisters, you know, were under Myeshia was under attack. The brothers and sisters would move. You know, countless Black Panthers were arrested. Assata Shakur was falsely arrested. Black Panthers were falsely charged. It was an attack. It was a directive by the United States government to disrupt, destroy, discredit the Black Panthers. This initiative was set out by J. Edgar Hoover, who was over the FBI. Mm-hmm. And there was a program, and the people need to, whatever I'm saying, everything I'm saying, you can look it up yourself. It was called the Counterintelligence Program. And it said they must disrupt and destroy the Black Panther Party. They named the Black Panther Party in particular. But that was not the first time. They also named Martin Luther King. They named Malcolm X. They named the Black Liberation Army.
But why would the government do something like that when the government is supposed to be for the people? I mean, we are tax-paying citizens, and as long as we are abiding by the rules and abiding by the law, and we're hardworking, we're contributing, we should be praised and uplifted by our government. We should be supported by our government. So that doesn't even make sense that the government would be against an organization that is for the community. Like, that don't make sense. Krystal, somebody lying. Why would the government do something like that?
Well, the for the people, that's an incomplete statement. The government's for the people. We need to ask who people? What people?
What people? Huh?
What people are they for? The Constitution still to today has Black people listed as 3/5 human beings. To today. That's never changed. It was the United States government who Navy ships were the ones that were the slave ships. It was the French government whose ships were the slave ships. It was the British Navy ships that were the slave ships. And those that were not sent by the government were sent by private families. And these private families are still the ruling class today. These private families are the ones who had the slavery. And when slavery was forced, because our people started fighting back, they didn't just, his story has been a lie. Our story is our people started rising up and fighting back. When they was waking up, not here on the earth no more, then stuff started changing. So technology came in and they, so-called ended chattel slavery, and the only people to get reparations for slavery was the people who enslaved us.
Exactly.
And those same families still get reparations. Let's talk about it. The wealth that these people have. America is the greatest country on the planet because of our ancestors' work. 500 years, 400 years of free work. They got their wealth from us and have yet to pay us back and don't want to pay us back. They don't want to hear a sister like me talking. They don't want to hear a brother like you on. But they'll put this coon dude up there, this buck dancing Negro saying crazy stuff. How can he make one video and it go viral? We've made thousands of videos. They shadow banned it. We went out and stood for the people countless times with weapons, without weapons. They'll make sure they don't show it.
What do you attribute that to? If let's just say that dude, if we are to believe what you're saying about Buddy, we're talking about Paul Birdsong. If we are to believe what you're saying about him, that he is an op, and they're pushing the narrative that he's putting out there, why would they push his narrative and not the work that you guys do?
He said it himself. He said he's not a black nationalist. He said that he's an internationalist. He's put out information. As I explained, the counter, I was trying to explain, I might have got a little, it's so much to say, but the counterintelligence program, one of the things that one of the directives said that they must disrupt, discredit, and then destroy the Black Panther Party. So when you have somebody that's causing disruption, see, this is a disruption. Then what you're doing is you having a discredit. So they're trying to discredit and disrupt because their ultimate game is to destroy the Black Panther Party. New Black Panther Party, Black Panther Party. There are no political prisoners from the NAACP. There are no political prisoners from anything but the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Army. In this country,
there's no political prisoners from the Klan either.
Exactly. There's no political prisoners from any of these state-sanctioned organizations. You know what I'm saying? And let's be clear. ICE is the Klan. ICE is the Klan. And what Birdsong is doing, he's making a distraction. Because what we should be thinking about and focusing on is the fact that in Minnesota, Trump now, see, while we were looking over there with him, Trump unleashed that list of 75 nations. And out of those 75 nations, about 70 of them was black, African nations. So now we went to Minneapolis doing George Floyd, the new Black Panther Party, for self-defense. We were in Minneapolis with the people organizing. It's mighty funny that Birdsong was talking all that stuff about Minneapolis from Philadelphia. They have yet to put boots on the ground in Philadelphia. People need to pay attention because what's going on is people having an emotional reaction. And also, there's been so much miseducation. This is why in the new Black Panther Party, anyone that wants to join, first, they have to go through an application process. Everybody that wants to join does not mean they're going to be a Panther. Before we put a gun in their hand, they must go through, we put a book in their hand.
Can you not be black and join the Black Panther Party?
No, it's the Black Panther Party. Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party has always been and has historically been and is today, we are black nationalists. And see, we're for our community. We're for us, by us. We believe in self-determination.
So if we see if we see a black organization or any Black Panther or somebody purporting to be a Black Panther organization in any regard, they should not be trusted if they have a non-black as part of their party.
Yeah, they've been they've been trying these tactics so long. That's why when this dude popped up, we knew we've been seeing they got the pick the pot to pick the pepper party, the blah 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 party, the such and such party. And to be quite frankly, we never, unless they violate the rules, you don't really see us saying anything about what they're doing. Because at this point, it's only a handful that are going to try it. Because most people, and most of the time, they fade away.
Is it possible
most people know it's going to require work. I want to say this. I'm jumping over the place. I want to say this. We have rules and regulations. We have a code of conduct. We have the way of a Panther and the way of a warrior. Everyone that becomes a Black Panther is made aware of this, and they must follow by the rules. We have general orders. We are a well-organized militia. Our patch, which I don't have on now, but I'm not in uniform, because that's a battle dress unit. When we're in the field, we have a clearly identifiable patch that goes by international law. So you can't just cosplay and bootleg and just pop up and think you're about to get away with it. We recognize a fraud when we see it. You can't get out there and say reckless things to try to incite the people, but at the end of the day, we're the ones that are the target. Don't you think the federal government and the FBI knows who the real are and who the fake are? They wouldn't even be putting this operation in effect if it wasn't the fact of what we represent. The church feeds the people every day. It's a church that feeds the shelters feed the people every day. It's people do good stuff all the time. I'm talking about the Black Panther Party. I'm here to defend the Black Panther Party. I'm not here to defend any good deeds or counter or speak against any good deeds people are doing. We are an organization that exists, the Black Panther Party. We are Black nationalists for our people, and we are Pan-Africanists, and we are revolutionaries. And those three things all mean something. Meaning we're not trying to reform this crooked racist system.
You've been working in the capacity of Black activism since 1993. I remember when you was a kid, 93. So, but you started working with the Black Panther Party, and you became the national chair of the Black Panther Party in 2013. The reason why I wanted to say that is because I saw somebody in the comments saying, like, you don't speak for the Black Panthers. Like, who do you speak for? If you don't speak for the Black Panthers, and who do you speak for?
I mean, anybody can make a comment.
Yeah.
Anybody can say anything on social media. I don't give a damn about it. I'm the national chair of the new Black Panther Party. I'm the national chair of the new Black Panther Party that was founded in 1989 in Dallas, Texas. By the time the new Black Panther Party was founded, the Black Panther Party had been defunct almost 20 years. Bobby Seals shut down the Black Panther Party to run for office and lost. Okay. When the Black Panther Party started the same year that Huey P. Newton was gunned down and murdered, the brothers in Dallas, Aaron Michaels, David Foreman, they started the Black Panther Party. I was nominated. We've had 3 chairmen in the new Black Panther Party. It was first, we had Aaron Michaels. I'm sorry, 4 prior to me. It was Aaron Michaels and Captain David Foreman, who started, and the other brothers and sisters in Dallas who started the new Black Panther Party in 1989. The reason why they used the term new Black Panther Party, because initially they did come out and say Black Panther Party. But there were some Black Panther Party members who filed the suit, and there was some about using that name, Black Panther Party. So there was an agreement, and there were some Black Panther Party members who didn't have a problem with the name, us using, but with the brothers in Dallas restarting the Black Panther Party. So there was a compromise made, or an agreement made, that they put new in front of it. because there were those who said they wanted to preserve the legacy of the Black Panther Party of the 60s. And so the distinction was made. And our logo was designed, our patch that we have that people may see, that was designed by Eddie Conway, who was a political prisoner of the original Black Panther Party out of Baltimore, Maryland. So when the new Black Panther Party came about, David Foreman and brother Eric Michaels, it initially started out as a more on a local standpoint. And what wound up happening is Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad wound up having these issues with the Nation of Islam with Minister Farrakhan, and he was shot. And when he was by somebody, a white guy that was trying to take him out, he was shot, and they were trying to take him out. So Dr. Khalid was brought to Dallas, Texas, to be under the protection of the Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party. So, brother, when Dr. Khalid healed, they made an agreement, an arrangement where Khalid Abdul Muhammad became the chair of the Black Panther Party, and Captain David Foreman, and Aaron Michaels was the Minister of Defense. Well, there was when Gary Graham was murdered, there was a situation, there was a internal conflict in which Aaron Michaels wound up stepping back, and Khalid was the chair, and David Foreman became the Minister of Defense. Remember, Huey P. Excuse me.
Shaka Sankofa, right?
Yes, Shaka Sankofa, yes.
Okay.
That's when I first saw the Black Panthers.
Well, I'm glad you said murder, because that's exactly what happened. They framed it as an execution, for crimes, but they knew that man was innocent, and they killed him anyway.
Right, and that movement is what got me into the movement, the fight for justice for Shaka Sankofa. That's when we first met y'all, because y'all, the Ghetto Boys. I saw y'all. I didn't meet you directly. Y'all did a concert at the Dog Pound to help us raise money to stop the execution of Shaka Sankofa, Gary Graham. But let me move forward. When Shaka Sankofa was murdered, there was some internal rift that had went on within the party. Aaron Michaels, Captain David wanted to become the Minister of Defense. Well, unfortunately, it became the Minister of Defense, and Dr. Khalid was the chair. So let me make sure I didn't say that incorrectly. Dr. Khalid was the chair. Aaron stepped back. David Foreman stepped up as the Minister of Defense. Well, in 2000, Dr. Khalid passed away, unfortunately. Well, he was in the hospital due to a brain aneurysm. There were Panther members who went to Marietta, Georgia, and according to Captain David, he said that there were people that were arguing. Malik Zulu Shabazz and Cornell X, they were out arguing in the hospital about who was going to be the chair. The Captain David, the Minister of Defense, is who's in charge in the field. Captain David, being one of the founders, he said, ain't nobody finna be the damn chair. Y'all, the man's body ain't cold. And y'all sitting there arguing. So Captain David wound up going back to Dallas. The party went without a chair. The new Black Panther Party went without a chair for about a year. Malik Zulu Shabazz came down to Dallas and asked to chair. The Dallas chapter, being the founding chapter, gave him the authority to be the chair. When I came into the party in 2002, 2003, around two, it was like the end of 2002, starting in 2003, is when I met them at the end of 2002. Malik Zulu Shabazz was the chairman. Okay, he appointed me the Houston chair. We started, so as I was an activist already, like I mentioned, with the Gary Graham. So by the time I came into the party, I was already an activist, a revolutionary. I've been organized with the Black United Front, anti-death penalty movement, the Nation of Islam. That's when I got the name Muhammad. So I was already an activist, a young activist. But when I met the Panthers, I was like, man, I always wanted to be a Panther. and they gave me, a lot of, it was like it was what I was meant to be.
Right.
So we had our own internal things going on within the party. In 2013, Malik Zulu Shabazz quit. And before he quit, he got all of us national officers. I went from being the local chairman in Houston to the regional rep. And when Malik was ready to quit in 2013, he asked me to get all of the national officers on the call and local chair people. And he said he was disbanding the central committee. He was quitting. We were getting ready to have our national summit when everybody comes together, which we do once a year. So he called for an election. We had it. That was an internal thing. The momentum started going. Then all of a sudden, I guess when my name came into the twofold, it became a problem. Actually, before that, I was actually trying to push Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. to come in and be the chair. He declined to do that. Malik Zulu Shabazz wound up going on public radio and tried to, after he had already quit, tried to declare martial law on the new Black Panther Party within our ranks and say he was canceling the elections. But mind you, like I said, we was already having a national summit. So we wound up, everybody went forward. I wound up being elected. With that being said, it was people who didn't agree with that. I was elected by the majority of the national chairs and membership. I was the first Panther to be elected as national chair. There was people who didn't agree. So that's when the split came to the new Black Panther Party. There was Hashim and Zinga's formation and our formation. Our formation, mind you, I was nominated by the founder, voted in. People didn't agree. There was a split. After that, we started getting this, different groups was like, well, shit, we can do it. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, just like when Malik became the chair, by Dallas, Cornell got upset and he went and started the Black Panther Nation. It's like people don't agree with what happens in a process or with the rules and regulations, and they go try and start their own stuff. And that's what's happened. So typically, we've been dealing with, for the most part, up until today, we have been dealing with Black Panthers from the 1960s up until 2025. We've always been Black nationalists, just period, point blank. Now, when Huey was arrested and there was a Free Huey movement, he did make a statement about intercommunalism, not internationalism. There was even a rift in the 60s between the East Coast Panthers and the West Coast Panthers, because Huey was trying to change the ideology and leaning towards intercommunalism. And the majority of the Panthers wanted to stay Black nationalists. So this is why you had the Asada Shakur and the Sundiata Coley and a lot of the Black Panthers of the East Coast and other places. But there was a East Coast, West Coast rift going on about the ideology of Black nationalism. But there has never been the Black Panther Party that brought everybody in. That does not exist.
Should black activists be on the ground protesting for immigration rights and other causes that don't directly center Black people? Or does that dilute the mission?
Black people can do what they want to do. I mean, that's a right to protest. You can protest how you want to protest. I would never speak against what somebody wants to do. But as far as the new Black Panther Party, that has not been our focus at the moment. To be quite frank, we've been dealing with lynchings. We've been dealing with reparations. We have had brothers and sisters that have spoke against what's going on with ICE, of course.
Does those viral moments help the movement, or do they sometimes distract from the real work that's being done?
Which viral moments?
Viral moments like the ones we've been seeing lately about Black Panthers, people saying that they're affiliated with the Black Panther Party, and how they're standing their ground and so forth.
This is a lesson. This, as I mentioned, those of us who are members of the Black Panther Party and those who are in their process and applying to be a part of the members, history is repeating itself. We recognize the counterintelligence when it's in play. But unfortunately, the danger of what's going on, and I want to say that it is very dangerous and very respectful to the foundation of the Black Panther Party and the new Black Panther Party for the media or those who call themselves medias or journalists to falsely label that the words that Paul Birdsong has put out as new Black Panther Party. He himself even said he's not the new Black Panther Party. Let me make that distinction. It is false to have people say that the original Black Panther Party had everybody in the Black Panthers. That is not true. That is false. It is false to say that the new Black Panther Party is racist. That is not true. We are race first. There's a big difference. Young Black people need to join the true new Black Panther Party. They can go to nbpp.org, and we will give you the study, the skills, and the training to learn what it truly takes. Everybody that wants to run up into the United States military can't be a part of the United States military.
Mm-hmm.
If you out of your mind, if you have issues mentally, physically, you may not be able to join the new the U.S. military. It's the same way with the new Black Panther Party. But what happens is people need to understand that the need or the desire to stand up against oppression and injustice is natural, is warranted. We respect that. But what we don't allow and should not happen is for people to do things that would encourage other people to go and get themselves killed or arrested because you're trying to sound tough. You can't say self-defense on one hand and then elude and then make a direct threat. Say I would defend myself in self-defense. Now, a person can say it, but there's going to be consequence to it if they choose to move out on it. But don't do that and act like you represent the Black Panthers, because you don't. It's false advertising.
And also, you guys are, you have legal defense funds. Also, people don't think people really recognize that part of what y'all do. So how do they donate?
Yes, they would go to nbpp.org. That's N as in new, B as in black, P as in Panther, P as in party.org. And on our website, that's going to give you the information on how to join, on how to donate, some of our things that we do. We have a humanitarian arm of the new Black Panther Party called the Black Cross. And the Black Cross, we go out and do disaster response, and we do emergency rescue trainings. We teach a lot of, skills, especially with the natural and man-made disasters that we've been going through. We're about to go through something maybe in a few days here in Texas with the freeze. But, you can't, as it relates to anyone that wants to support us, support us. If anybody has criticisms, that's on them. But at the end of the day, we've been the ones in the street. I can name them. We were the ones in the streets, in the cities where it took place, for James Byrd, for James Byrd, Trayvon Martin, Freddie Gray, Breonna Taylor, all of these Alton Sterling, all of these countless lynchings that's been going on in Mississippi. We the ones on the ground. Our track record speaks for itself. We're not here to defend or validate ourselves. What we're here to do is to call out the false flag cosplayer, the crisis acting, whatever it may be, that is not of the way of the Black Panther.
Yeah.
We have political prisoners still in jail right now. We are for Black liberation and we're Pan-Africanists. People are going to criticize. I mean, we don't care. Do the work. If you're not doing the work, if you're just sitting there running your mouth, you ain't putting no work, how's that affecting us? Everyone can, but our track record stands for itself. I don't really have any energy for a criticizer, to tell you the truth. I can't stop people from thinking how they want to think. It's always going to be haters. Half the people that's criticizing are ops. They in the 1960s, there's a book called the Glass House Tapes. In the 1960s, the United States government had a budget of $17 million. $17 million to send in disruptors and fake people into the Black Panther Party. We've had this to take place. My goal as a national chair is to help continue to organize and to bring in and to recruit. I'm Minister of Defense and I'm Minister of Information. I'm Minister of Defense and our field marshals. They train our people. I'm the spokesperson. We have, you see, if you go to our website, countless times where we stood up for the people. In Gina, we were the ones that organized the Gina 6. All over the South, all over America. We're boots on the ground. We're not just talking about it. We're doing something about it. And if anybody has a problem with that, they could write it down and go stick it up there. You know what?